Good morning to each and every one of you, and welcome to beautiful, the wild side of Barbados this morning. Thought I'd bring you up here to show you all the large east swells, but they're not the way I'd expected. But then again, it is wild, rough and rustic as we had said we would be this morning. I hope all of you have come with the right attire. We've been walking across a little bit of a cliff area. Lots of strong winds, so I've had to bring out our hurricane equipment this morning, so we won't have the gimbal with the nice smooth balance, but I will try and do my absolute best to bring it as smooth as possible. But the gimbal wouldn't have stood up for a second out here. The winds are gusting, very strong. Sea spray is feeling like rain up here, although I'm elevated up by quite many feet. I don't know exactly how high we are, probably 80 feet above the sea level, maybe 100 at the most there, or the highest point. Anyhow, beautiful morning to see the sun's coming up. Like to say our serenity prayer. Those of you who would like to join us now, please do so. All others will be back with you in a few moments. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Your will, not ours, be done. Amen. As I said, we're going to be coming with a lot of wind this morning. It's gusting out here. Very, very strong wind conditions. I've had to come out with our gimbal, well, not gimbal, but our handheld equipment this morning to accommodate the winds that we're experiencing. So you will be having a little bit more of a jittery experience this morning. You won't be seeing it as smooth as normal, but this is how we started out. So we're going to sort of like be returning to where we were in the very beginning. So let's try and do our best from here. Alright, just give you a quick 360 here. As I said, we're going to be having a lot of wind, so you may not hear me on all occasions. However, as you all know already, I will be talking. So, if you're not hearing me, it's not that I'm taking a breather. Only thing I'll be silent for is our 360. As I said before, it's going to be wild, it's going to be rough. I'm going to come back to that sun by the time it makes a clearing. The conditions of Barbados. You are experiencing real Barbados. The gusts up here blowing me off center all the time then. Very strong. I'm seeing some squalls in different distance. Hopefully they don't come through, because there's no way a rain shield is going to really work today. It will get blown away and shredded up for sure. Beautiful, beautiful sunrise. Promises of a new day. Just to give you some information of where we are, just over there you'll see in distance on the cliff a lot of homes. That is the Skeets Bay development to do with the crane houses. So any of you that are familiar with that area, you know where we are. In the distance you're seeing the Raggy Point lighthouse, which is the most easterly of the lighthouses on the island. And then just to the left of that you're seeing the glorious sunrises. The promises of a new day. A day for us to make a difference in this world. A day for us to change ourselves. A day for us to try and recover from any things that we did yesterday that were not what we expected. And a day for us to make peace with everyone around us. Remember, today we're going to have Ukraine and all the world in our minds and in our hearts today. As we had prayed for peace before, you know, we're going to include them in our thoughts and our prayers today for sure. Tragic situation going on, but you know, we're going to still continue as we are. We're going to continue to share the beauty and the peace and the serenity of a place that we call paradise and that I call heaven. Just beautiful. Now, we've been on that lower elevation there, that's right down on almost the water edge before. We couldn't do the live all around. We had to pretty much stay stationary because of the lack of signal. Up here we should have a fairly good signal, again a fairly good resolution hopefully. There's no beach or landmass except for a cliff between that lower elevation there and Skeets Bay itself, which is around the corner in that cove. You can walk right on that pinnacle itself, but you can't go any further than that, going in the direction of Skeets Bay, because it does go into the private property area and sheer cliff. But you can see how high up we are here. You were stationed in the back of the war wagon this morning. That's where we were located, trying to block a little bit of the wind, trying to keep the tripod steady, etc. It is really gusting up here this morning. I had to take off my hat. I was walking about with it, but I was being challenged more to hold that on than I was to walk on this terrain here. Just want to carry down a little bit here to show you the cliffs, so you can actually sort of like feel how high up we are and get a sensation for the area that we're in. I'm going down on a fairly nice little track here. It's a little bit close, it goes up. I'm not going to go any further. We're going to pretty much stop here because we're going to higher elevation to look at the other side in a couple of minutes time. But this is the kind of sheer cliffs of up here as you get around to this side of the island. Very rough, sheer, steep conditions. I know I'm being challenged with the wind this morning, but that ain't a problem. You don't worry about that. I'm going to out-talk this wind for sure. That could blow a gale and I could talk a nonsense, so let's go with it. Alright, we're going to make our way back up now. Beautiful, beautiful cliffs. I was looking for something a lot bigger than this here, swell-wise. As you can see, there are some fresh floats of sargassum. You know, we did get some of that brought around to the south coast over the last few days because of the south swell. However, the swell has gone more easterly now, so I wouldn't think that we would get too much on that side, hopefully, in the next couple of days until the swell decides to change angle again. Beautiful. Now, I know this is not what I would normally do. I would normally hide on the west coast or somewhere down the south side to get away from this kind of wind, but I don't know why I felt in the mood this morning. For the time I woke up, I said I'm going to go and challenge the wind. I want to show my friends and my family and my loved ones the east side and the rough conditions. No, not the Barbados area. We're going to be reserving that for a little bit because we're going to wait until some of the pros and amateur pros come to Barbados for the big competition at the end of this month. And then we're going to take a trip over there and just watch you guys having some sessions and stuff when the waves are good, when the wind conditions are better. Hopefully some smooth faces and some big barrels. You're seeing some showers coming in the distance. So, you know, if that comes, we're going to have to maybe start short today. I do have the rain shield with me. Just to say good morning to you though, because you know me, I like to show off in front of the camera just a little bit. Yeah, so a little bit jittery this morning. That's going to be expected. This is not one of those smooth ones, but this is the only way I can bring you what I am bringing you right now, is in these conditions. So I'm going to do my absolute best to make it the best possible video for you. So sit back, relax for a few minutes. Hopefully we don't get any rain stoppage, because there is definitely a squally distance, but the wind direction seems to be pushing it more in the direction of Bash Bay area and Concept Bay, so hopefully that will be the case. Up in the distance, I walked over a little bit, get a little bit of a windbreak, which I'm getting now from the trees on the cliff itself or the bush. In the distance, you may see the highest structure over there. That's St. Mark's Anglican Church. That's as you're descending into Concept Bay. That will just give you an indication where we are. The area in front of that housing area is known as Fortescue and Savannah, which is slightly over to your right. You'll see the elevations of St. John up there in the distance. We are in the parish St. Philip, but that's the elevations of St. John up by the District C police station, right across the cliffs up by Messiah Street, etc. Around by Coastline College, or Coastline High School, I should say. And then you will get all the ridges going and overlooking. So majority of that area up there in the highest elevation would be St. John, and then the flats would be St. Philip. St. Philip, flat as a pancake and fairly dry. Because this morning we left Christchurch, pouring rain. I mean, real heavy rain. Roads were flooded and stuff. So, you know, it's nice to come up here, but St. Philip, always as usual, fairly dry. There is some water. There was a little bit of 4x4 selecting to get out here, because I did come across the pasture to bring you this beautiful vantage point. I'll show you why in a second, why you want to come here. Hopefully we get there before the rain does. You can drive here by car if you put in your GPS or put into your maps and put Bell Point. Bell Point is where we are. If you put that in, you can actually get very close to where we are by the directions that it gives you. Because this morning I was testing it. It brings you through the Fortescue area, which is a lot smoother than the way I came, because I came across the Cart Road. Was running a little bit later this morning, you know, and I wasn't too sure what the roads would be like, so I came across 4x4 select from scratch. I don't want to show you the other side yet, so I'm going to be walking facing this way, and we will look in the other direction in a few minutes. Those of you that have never seen out here before, you're going to hold your breath in a few minutes time for sure. Very bushy area, lots of coral heads out here exposed all over. When you're walking out here, please be very careful. This is not rock. This is not a rock that's going to move. These are actual coral heads, the tops of coral heads, as you will see here. You don't want to be kicking these here. They're hidden in the grass, so if you are going across area that you cannot see the actual surface itself, like a well-walked track like what we're on, I would recommend you be extremely careful, because you can fall off onto a little cliff section. You can twist your ankle quite easily. You can most definitely do some damage to your toes and your ankles. So please, just take care. If you're doing anything in Barbados, it's off the on the beaten path, I should say. Just be very careful. It is, you know, you just want to be careful. That sounds silly, I guess, to most of you, because a lot of you are saying, well, that's what we do anyhow. But I'm going to remind you, when you're on vacation, sometimes you forget and drop a little bit of the caution. We don't want you doing that when you're here in Barbados. We want you to be just as cautious as you would be back home, but enjoy yourself, of course. Thanks to all of those that came out yesterday. I met so many people. Mr. Impact, session, buddy. Session. You had the crowd rocking yesterday. As you would have noticed, the EMC Bad Behave posse was there. You know, we are actually now being greeted all the time wherever we go. I don't know if it's because of bad behavior. It possibly could be, but you know me, I try to go and mellow it out and balance it out. So I usually am very calm and peaceful and quiet, and I try and balance it out with all the bad behavior that goes on around with our other members. They had a magnificent time yesterday. You should have seen them. I don't know how much of our care team is up this morning, because a few of them were yesterday having a really good time, and I told them, if you're not up today, it's not a problem, I will forgive you, but that would be a strike one. Ah, boy, there you go. Hold your breath and catch it now. Beautiful morning. Absolutely beautiful. You know, I really wish that they would design a gimbal that would be able to work in these weather conditions, but I don't know how that would be possible. Mine would get spun around like a windmill this morning for sure, and it is one of the high-end ones with the better switches and options. Alright, we can go over here, and I'm going to stoop down a little bit out of the actual wind blast itself. Hopefully to get a little smoother area that I can talk to you a little bit about the cliff section here. The showers seem to be holding off, and as I said before, going in the direction of Barbados, as you can see. That's because of where the wind is coming from at the moment. Very rough terrain out here. You have to watch cracks like this and stuff. Remember, like I think 8-10 years ago, somewhere in that kind of time frame, a massive piece of foul bay fell into the water. A rock that everyone, or a cliff that everyone used to stand on and enjoy, you know, the fishing and stuff up there, was in the water the next day. So be wary when you come out here and you see cracks like these. Just be careful. As you can see, this goes right around. It looks like a big clump here. I don't know if it will fall. I'm pretty sure this will probably last longer than I will be alive. However, we're going to take our time and make our way around it. Beautiful coral. Absolutely gorgeous coral all along here. You can actually see, you know, all the fans in this one here. It hasn't really been destroyed because not a lot of people venture into this area, so it's only getting affected by the elements, but just beautiful fan and look. Alright, I have stooped down a little bit. Hopefully you get away a little bit from the wind. Just to give you an idea of what's going on here. Now the lower shelf, over there you see in the distance, we actually did a 4K resolution from there. I think I called it Fortescue. Can't remember offhand, I think I did. That is not accessible for us to get a live broadcast, because as soon as you descend the goat tracks that come off the higher elevation down onto that plateau itself, you start to lose signal. You can get it. I was talking to my angel. By the way, good morning, my love, if you're on board. Welcome to our morning gathering. Looking forward to you walking with me on these. Alright, so I did talk to my angel over there on Instant Messenger one day, but it kept cutting in and out. Terrible resolution, so we decided to go back and do a 4K. As we had promised you from the very beginning, if the EMC could not take you on a live broadcast, we will be taking you on 4K for doing the whole coastline. And so far we've done that. Two exceptions, one between Morgan Lewis Beach and Pico Tenerife, and the other one between the North Point, or former North Point Beach Resort, and actual Animal Flower Cave. Otherwise that, we've done it all. So as we're standing by our promises, you'll see a rainbow in the distance there trying to make shape. May do so. Going back again to the furthest point you're seeing here, if you're driving up the East Coast Road, or even if you're, well, from Cherry Trail it's hard to see it because it sort of blends with the East Point pinnacle as well. However, you're driving up the East Coast Road and you see some sheer cliffs, the furthest point with a coconut tree or a couple of coconut trees and homes. That is what you're seeing there. That is the above point to where Concept Bay would be. When you go around there, you actually go into Concept Fish Market area. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Barbados. we're not going to run this one too long this morning because it is, you know, the elements are pretty challenging and stuff. However, I would like to get up and show you some of the sheer cliff areas that you will see the drop off that has sheared off and fallen onto the beaches and into the water. So you will see that this side is very prone to that. So be very careful along the cliff areas out here, please. That is fairly recent falls because it hasn't started to discolor or weather, especially the one on the little beach that's down there. Now, we said we would do that little beach. We haven't done that yet. We've been on top of the cliff, we've been all around it, but we actually haven't been down on it because it's you have to come up through a valley that comes to that. And I'm going to bring my, you know, I would say our mountain goat specialist, hicologist with me when I'm doing that one. I know he wants to do that as well, so we'll bring that to you at a later date. Beautiful Barbados. Nothing really grows up here. There's hardly any surface soil, as you can see. Just enough mud to stick you up if you don't have a true 4x4 when it's raining. So please don't venture into these areas when it's wet. If you're in a car, if you're in a 4x4, majority of the car rental companies here on the island, you know, disengage the 4x4 system on it. So you will be driving a Jeep, but you may not have your 4x4. So be careful what you do, please. Just be wary. Don't put yourself in trouble. It's all about seeing the beauty and enjoying the adventure, but in a safe way. That's how I try to do it myself. We get a little better view down into Skeets Bay, direct center of the camera right now. You will see some of the tracers going on the jetty. You really don't see the jetty itself. It is slightly behind the rocks. Skeet Bay has been suffering with sargassum for years. It doesn't really go at Skeets Bay now. One time I used to go to that beach, it was beautiful, it was lined with coconut trees. All of the trees have gone now because of the erosion, and the beach is now completely discolored, very, very dark sands and stuff from all of the rotten sargassum. Fish market has been closed for a number of years now. It was a good facility, but it has been closed. So you'll see the kind of coral that we're talking about out here. So if you're walking in these areas, 4x4s, please. I know some of you have little, your track shoes and stuff, but remember, they're all right to step over these here. However, if it breaks off, your ankles are going to be exposed to that type of coral. You don't really want to get that kind of damage. Rainbow is still trying to make its way. Not quite yet, not enough sunshine to really make it rich and beautiful, but it is trying and attempting it. Beautiful Barbados, amazing parish of St. Philip. Now when you come to St. Philip, against popular belief, you don't need a visa. The St. Philip people will welcome you into their borders without any problem at all. Just to tell you again of where we also are, you may be able to make it out. I'll try and get a direct center of the camera right now. You can see possibly Culpeper Island. Very hard to get to nowadays unless you can get through the actual development over there. There is a route from the other side. What I'll do is one morning I'll go and park up there. We'll walk our way down to Culpeper Island from that side, so you'll see how you can get to see it as well. Beautiful little island at low tide in summer when the sand has built. You'll be able to pretty much walk out there in about knee deep of water over onto the island itself where there's one little coconut tree. You will need a visa for that. I'm only kidding. No visa necessary for that either. It is a part of the Republic of Barbados. Beautiful, beautiful. Alright, so we've had a rougher one this morning. We've been blown all over the place. We've been a little bit jittery. But you've seen what Barbados is all about. I was talking to a lady yesterday that's actually working with some tourism projects and stuff. And I was telling her, you know, the difference between what we do and what a lot of people do is we show you what Barbados is. We don't wait until it's up. Not that the others don't. So don't think I'm putting you wrong on that. Just as that usually majority of the videos and vlogs and stuff in Barbados wait for the perfect day when there are blue skies, you know, cotton candy clouds and just gorgeous seas and stuff. That is not what we do. We live Barbados through my eyes, and whatever I see and I experience, you are as well. There's no fabrication, there's no beautification. This is the real beautiful Barbados as it is. Rough in some occasions, jittery on some occasions, wind blasted. As you know, we went out in a tropical hurricane last year. You know, that's what we do. As long as it is relatively safe and there's a safety issue, you know, safety is not jeopardized, I'm going to bring you Barbados as best as I can, because this, to me, is absolute beauty. Beauty of Barbados through my eyes. Just going to walk back a little bit in this general direction here, get out a little bit of the wind blow, and just say our farewells to you. It's not going to be a long vlog today, as I mentioned. You know, we have been doing a lot of hour plus vlogs. A lot of it has been mainly watching the sun rising and stuff, but You know, if you're doing 15-20 minutes of sunrise, you know, my mouth, as you all would know, needs its exercise. So again, looking at 30 to 40 minutes for me to do some talking and some nonsense talk and enjoying Barbados and bringing a little bit of humor, lots of passion and lots of love to you all guys for sure. This morning I drove across this pasture. If you had seen the grass canaries, it was amazing. They were just flying all over in front of the lights and in front of the truck. Just a brilliant scene. It was breathtaking for me this morning. I mean, I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of them. I have a few cows in the pasture as well. None of them were across the road this time. I got blocked last time. I had to find my own way out. But this time it was a good, relatively safe and smooth travel. As smooth as it can be on this type of terrain, as you can appreciate. Just beautiful. Now, the only trees you already find up here are, yeah, sea grape trees. No, they're beautiful, I have to admit. The trees are beautiful. The berries are gorgeous, especially when they go from the greens to the purples. But that's where it stops. Let's leave them right there in the tree and done with that. Let's not go any further in conversation because I took some licks about this area yesterday. I was talking about the delicious dunks and guineps, which we call ackee. And then I went into the discussion about sea grapes and I took my licks for that one, so there's no problem. I can handle it, you know, I'm a big boy. It's not a problem. Beautiful skies, just beautiful. It's going to be a gorgeous day in Barbados. For those of you that are not seeing what we're seeing, we're surrounded by grass, savanna style surroundings, lots of low bush, windswept cliffs, very steep cliff areas overlooking a beautiful Atlantic Ocean that's obviously having a little bit of her own roar at the moment. Rough sea conditions over on the east side of the island. South seems to have smoothed down because of the wind, because of the swell direction. But it's still very wind blown and very rough. And for the next week, I'm sure the small craft won't be in effect for any swell sizes that I'm seeing. Skies this morning, overcast, just beautiful, different colors, different levels of clouds as well. We're seeing the low, we're seeing the mid, we're seeing the high level clouds, and we're seeing a sun that's trying to burst its way through to shine and spread all of its glory all over the island this morning. As you can see, the war wagon clearly needs a bath. I was going to leave it for our driver to come and take care of that for me, but she has delayed her arrival to Barbados, so I guess I'm going to have to pray that it rains heavy so that it will get a bath between now and then. But don't worry, driver, I'm leaving it for you. I got some brand new equipment in the plastic still, all for you. Lovely, very popular fishing area, very, very popular up here, all along these cliffs as well. Anyhow, folks, that is it for today. As I said, it's going to be something very different. Did say that for this morning. It would be on the wild side. Many different ways to determine what wild means, but now you can see it for yourself. Just beautiful, natural Barbados. Very windblown, very rough conditions. For each of you that are on here this morning, I want to thank you again for joining us. Care team, myself, Munch Kings, and everybody from the EMC welcomes you if you're new. If you're unable to comment, it would mean that you're not in our friends list, so you would need to send a friend's request on Facebook so you can join us, because the view is stunning. The commentary, well, we can leave that to talk about later on, but what you want to do is you want to participate in the communications and the contact between yourself and the other people in the family, because they're the ones that spread the love, they're the ones that bring the happiness, they're the ones that bring the joy. So have a great day, everyone. Love you all. Greetings from the beautiful wind-blown side of Barbados. I hope you all have a great day. I love you all. Be peaceful today. Remember, you can make a difference. You can smile, which will bring a difference to everyone around you. Have a wonderful time. Love you all, and God spare life. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks very much for joining us. I'm going to leave you this beautiful photo opportunity for you to say your farewells. See you all later. Have a good day.